Good evening. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sundays Talks with Tanya. Come on in. Come on in. This is definitely the place to be. I don't know about the weather in your part of the world, but it's nice to be inside somewhere nice and cozy, comfy, with your favorite beverage. hmm It's really just water. And I want to welcome you to Talks with Tanya. Thank you so very much. Hey, thanks very much for joining. Welcome. I am so glad that you were here with me today. Welcome to Talks with Tanya. My name is Tanya Bain, and I am the host of your most like digital news and talk show where we talk about what's on your mind. We interview guests of excellence, and I get to share my view with you. You will find me here weekly. My goodness. On Tanya Inspires weekly on Sunday at 8 p.m. and on Anchor FM on Saturdays at 11 a.m. I drop the podcast 11 a.m. on Talks with Tanya, the podcast, where we are committed to educating, informing, impacting, and connecting by sharing information that will build bridges and heal lives. So I welcome each and every one of you this evening. Hi, thanks so much for joining. Hey, welcome. I get so excited when I see my Facebook friends and family and my Instagram friends and family and my YouTube friends and family. This is really exciting. It's really one of the big reasons why I come back every week. I don't know what I would do without you. Hey, Halanaru. Hi, beloved. Hi. I thank you for your ongoing love and support. So, yes, today, before I get started, I know I have to say this, I have to remember this. I'm really particularly excited today to wish happy birthday to my son, Christopher Jones. Hey, Chris. I am just so proud of you. I won't mention the number that he is. You know, it might be like a combination of two digits, like a 4 and a 0. But I know, can you believe it? Being just like what, 47 myself. Anyway, it really is. He's someone who's very special to me. We talk about why we do things and how it is that we're able to accomplish the things that we do. But it really does make me proud that as the years go on, and I posted this on Facebook, they rush by, and then one day you really, you take a look and wow, that boy, your son is a man. And it really is an incredible feeling. I'm very proud of him that he is a kind and compassionate and caring man. I'm saying it. That really is concerned about making a contribution and really going beyond what is required in order to do for others. He has surpassed any of the accomplishments that I have made, and I just need to say I love you, Christopher Jones. You're an amazing man. And thank you for that little commercial break, but I can do that. It's Talk with Tanya. And that's what we do here. Hi, peace, peace to you. Hola, hola, mis amigas. I love this. I love this. I'm really excited about today's show. And let me just share a little bit about how I even came to this theme. Um, this has been, it's Talks with Tanya, and we talk here. Okay. And this, and looking back and taking a moment to breathe. One of the things that, I had the opportunity to spend some time with myself, and I found that over the past 30 days, it has been quite a whirlwind going on, and I know that each and every one of you will be able to relate to this, because we're grateful as we wake up every morning, and we're able to put our feet on the ground, and I'm encouraging you to make sure before you put your feet on the ground that you are grateful, and you give thanks to God for another day, for another opportunity. And during those times, I like to kind of look back and reflect on, the day before, the week before. And over the past 30 days, it's been quite a whirlwind, but we have to get up every morning. All right. Gratefully. And then need to push. We need to push forward with our day. And this happens over and over and over again. And I don't believe that many of us take the time that is necessary to think about the things that we've been through and how it impacted us. And I always like to say that, our experiences are a tool. They're pieces of wisdom that we've acquired along the journey. However, it's important for us to be able to learn from those experiences and take a look at how we got to where we were and where it is perhaps that we may want to go. And one of the topics that comes up consistently for me, as I looked back for me over the past 30 days or so, is how did I make it through? How did I make it through? Well, for me, it goes without saying, by the grace and mercy of God, that's how I made it through. With the support and love of my family and friends, with the support of my spiritual community, the Enchanted Life community, and by beginning to understand myself from the deep place that I am, from the roots of my ancestors, and understanding that all of that has built up resiliency in me. And the journey that we take to get through these challenges, I believe it's something that we need to look back at so that we can move forward. Because for me, resiliency, all right, is what has carried me through. And I found myself saying quite a bit over the past several weeks that I was in a place that was kind of in the meantime place. And it wasn't necessarily a bad place, but it was a place that I needed to go through. Resiliency carried me through, but I wanted to make sure that I shared with you how important it is that as you go through that, as you go through we go through what we call our shadow work, or, go back and reflect and think about what we've been through and examine our patterns and behaviors and, things that we feel might get in the way. It's so important to revisit that and hit that reset button. So when I was thinking about that, I was like, who can I chat with to who I believe really has not only a personal understanding, but also a professional understanding of how it is that we can use resiliency and get past the things that might have appear as blockages and move forward. So I am going to bring up, without further ado, coming up from the green room, my friend, Valerie Karasi Stancill. Welcome. Welcome.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No.
Is that a little what? Power outage?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to get through this anyway. Okay.
Absolutely.
We got a little battery backup, don't we?
Send some little.
Okay, we're going to send out some energy. Okay, to replace that energy. Yeah. And I know I have my warriors, okay, in the audience. Yes. Welcome, Valerie Karasi Stancill. Look at all the shout outs, girl, that you're getting. I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate them as
well. Yes. So let me just share the story, because this is my favorite part of every show. Is for those of you who don't know, I met Valerie at a conference, and she was selling one of her books, and we're going to talk about this best-selling author over here. And it was, what was the first book, Valerie? Tell me so I get it right.
Who Ordered These Shoes?
Who Ordered These Shoes? Woo! Who ordered these shoes? And, I could relate to that, because how many of us haven't said that when we're standing somewhere and our feet are aching, right? I think I've probably been with you when that happened. But I actually met her at that conference, and we had an opportunity to just connect. And there has been a special connection with us since then. She is a woman of excellence, a tireless warrior that really is committed to helping women and men to become empowered and feel better and live longer. All right. And I can say, in the time that I have spent with her, I've really been impacted by her empathy, her sense of humor. Wait a minute. I'm going to tell. Her sarcasm. I can't do anything to keep it real with Miss Val. But let me just tell you the official bio. She is really an angel to me. She is the founder of Purpose for Wellness, LLC, which is a holistic wellness center, like I said, committed to helping primarily women, but really the overflow goes to anyone who goes by her energy, feel better and live longer with a vast variety of holistic alternatives. And the beauty of Miss Val is her gift is that she is able to sense, okay, whether she wants to or not, where people are, and it just has this energy that is really invigorating. Her passion is to educate, empower, inspire, and equip women to regain control and live abundantly by changing their lifestyle. You know, we're going to talk about changing some stuff here today, and that's why I needed to bring this expert on. She has learned from her life's journeys that her purpose is to help us realize that there is purpose in the journey. She really gets excited about showing you how to heal your body with the etheric touch, which provides a different energy healing practices to help you heal your body. And I'm going to expand that, your mind and your spirit. Valerie is also a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, and she helps you reconnect your body and reignite the vibrancy, okay, with sound harmonics, yoni steaming, meditation, and self-care coaching. Needless to say, she has coined the words, "My purpose is your wellness." Welcome, Valerie. Wait a minute. I have to say this, okay? She is a international best-selling author. All right. And she likes to play that down for some reason. As much as she encourages you to, speak about you, she's very humble about herself. International best-selling author, her educational background, she's someone who prepares. And that's another reason why I respect her. She is always preparing, always preparing. It might seem like it's coming off the cuff, but it's either her life journey that she is really being transparent about opening up to us, or it is the knowledge, education, and research that she uses in order to really help us in our lives. I would be remiss if I did not mention that Valerie is the mother of one amazing daughter, an amazing designer. Okay, I want you to go ahead and give the name of her business.
K. Nicole Collections.
K. Nicole Collections. Okay. You want to look that up on Facebook, K. Nicole Collections, if you want to get some unique styles, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she just recently appeared in a magazine in New York.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know where it rolls off.
That is not from me.
Yes. Okay. You need to claim that. We're going to need to claim our DNA in there. But yes, I'm taking some more time to, highlight this woman of purpose, because it really is important in understanding her journey, what she's been through, and why it is that she can share with us as an expert. So welcome, Valerie. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Queen. Hey, how are you? How are you? Thank you for that lovely introduction. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, the comments are all the facts. Karasi is infectious. You can't help but love her.
Thank you.
So today, and I have to I'm going to tell it, she and I study together quite a bit, because she's a very disciplined and organized person. And I'm going to share our first tip with you. All right. Is that if you need some help along the way, you want to make sure that you collaborate, okay, with someone who is a queen, okay, and doesn't mind sharing with you what it takes in order to, focus on what it is that you need to do. Some people talk about it, some people write about it, but I'm going to tell you that this young lady here is about it. So, what are we on here to talk about today, Val?
Oh my gosh, we got so many things to talk about. Of course, one being to identify, like, how would you identify stress and anxiety, and what's your release how do you release your emotions? We also want to talk to you about Queendom, our new
Mm.
show coming up. Queendom. And we also wanted to talk about, are you able to release your emotions and believe that you will still succeed?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So the first place that we want to step into is what you asked. What was that first question? And I need to get some responses from the audience. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. How do you release stress and anxiety, right?
Right. But first, we need to define resilience.
Okay, let's go there, teacher.
So, resilience, like when I look this up, like I'm always looking something up.
Yes, she is.
Sometimes you have to define things for people who have a hard time understanding,
Mm-hmm.
the English language. So, resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and toughness. So, when I read that, it made me automatically think of a strong woman.
Mm.
We all strive to be, or want to be, but sometimes it can be to your detriment. But you need to know that resiliency is the ability to quickly recover from anything that you go through. So when you're dealing with stress, how would you define stress? How would you define anxiety? What is your actual definition of those two things?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you define them, for me, I mean, stress is such a broad definition because it can cover so many things. But stress, we all know stress kills. And, dealing with stress and dealing with anger and uncertainty doesn't prolong your life. It just makes you have a shorter life
Mm.
because you're always worrying about something. You're always thinking about something. And as I say this, I hear myself saying exactly what you do every day. I think about things, I worry about things. I'm trying to please this person, trying to please that person. But stress kills, and stress and anxiety is that we have a vision of how the universe should be, how
Mm.
the universe should be with us, the things that we want to do. And now we will understand that the universe is not playing with us. It's
Mm-mm.
not playing with us. And once we realize that the universe is not playing with us, and that the stress and anxiety that you go through is self inflicted, because we want to be in control, but you're not in control. You never had control, and you never will have control.
I got to go now. All right, take us there again, okay? Like everybody breathe. I know.
Yes. You want the universe to do certain things. So you don't believe that the vision that you have of the universe should be and about what you want it to be, but the universe is not playing with you because you want to have control. And you don't have control. You never had control, and you never will have control. So what you have to learn how to do is to know that your well-being is not be consumed with your well-being, rather be consumed that you succeed. And as you try to do the things to succeed and set goals, you don't really go through the steps. You look at the goal, like, what is it that you want to do? Where is it that I want to go? And then do those things that get there, and stop focusing on the goal. Just walk it through. As our friend Ansantola always says, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we want to go right to the point. We want to go right to whatever it is that we want to do, whatever it is that we want to achieve. And, you know, we're just being consumed with us rather than being consumed with succeeding.
Mm-hmm. So what can we do? I'm like right there. So when you even say give up control, like I need to take a sip of something. Okay.
But, you know, when you give up control, it frees you, you know, because you're not like, oh my God, I got to control this. I got to control that. I got to make sure that, you know, I say the right thing. I do the right thing, you know, and sometimes you make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you might say the wrong thing or something will trigger you, you know, so then you do something completely different. But you have to know that your success, you cannot be consumed with your well-being. You have to be consumed with how you succeed. And whatever you have to do to get that information across, that you know, assure that person or give that person the confidence that what you're saying is actually true, you have to be free. You have to let it go. You have to let control go.
Mm.
You just can't control
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
universe because the universe has what you need.
It does. And if we believed that, okay, and we focused on ourselves, and this is what I'm hearing, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. If we focused on ourselves and what happens kind of in the meantime, okay, like those steps. So sometimes I know that I'm so busy worried about what I need to do next week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just stay focused on that. And I just stay focused on that. I don't take a look at the steps and I don't enjoy the process.
Right.
Okay. Or
Right.
learn from the process. Yes, they're getting it. The universe is control. Hey, Faith, my girl. Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Yes.
another thing that we have to do is, you know, as we're trying to do the goal, we learn about the goal, and we have to be okay if we don't get to the goal.
What?
Because sometimes not getting to the goal or having something happen because you didn't get to the goal is a caveat to something else that you need to do.
Mm.
So you have to be able to embrace the positive with the negative because, you know, like take for example COVID. You know, everybody is paralyzed because of COVID. We had to come in the house. You know, my business had to close because I'm non-essential. But one of the things that COVID allowed me to do is to take some time and realize that I needed to get away from a marketing platform that was taking a lot of my money that I thought that I couldn't do without. I realized that I could. It allowed me to develop some online products that I've always talked about and didn't want to do.
Mm.
Allowed me to write, you know, I'm writing another book. I just finished a self-care workbook. So, I mean, so that was a disaster or that was a bad thing that I embraced and turned it around to make it something that was positive. You
Yeah.
know, and I know a lot of people that, you know, COVID opened up a lot of different things for them. You know, some people's businesses are prospering more now than when COVID, where there was no COVID.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so it's just we don't look at things that the universe presents to us because we're so busy trying to be in control. You
Like
know,
every time you say that word and tell me that I need to release control, it's kind of like
I mean, it causes all kind. Control causes all kinds of things.
so let's talk about that, okay? Because this is Talks with Tanya, and we're on here with Karasi and Tee.
Right. That's right.
You know, what are some of what kind of drives us to want to be in control?
I mean, some things are people's personality behaviors, OCD, or, generational traumas that you haven't addressed. And, OCD or anxiety or control allows you to function and not face the thing that affected you, or the trauma that affected you.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's almost like, how I talk about the grief journey of the crisis, the anger and denial, the camp of no hope, and then new beginnings, and then that false bridge from crisis to new beginning, because you want to,
skip
out the little middleman, the thing that helps you to get totally healed. So you think that you can heal being on that false bridge. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
So you talked about that, okay? Where is it, based on your experience with others, that maybe the biggest area where we might fall short?
I find it when people have preset ideas or
Mindset.
yeah, but I'm thinking of another word. What is the other word? Preconceived ideas of how you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to act, and not being able to be a mature adult in an adult situation. You're an immature adult in an adult situation, and you don't know how to deal with that. So your dealing is to shut down or step back or be just totally oblivious to anything that's going around. You continue to not face the grief or the trauma or the situation that is causing you to not be able to function.
Right.
And so you just bypass it. You just it's okay. It's not okay. You can't heal from what you won't reveal. So, you can keep, thinking that you're healed. You can keep bleeding all over everybody. And you can't heal what you won't reveal.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Rebecca has a good, there are lots of great comments in here, okay? But one that I actually wrote down was expectations. So, and it's kind of a two-way street. Expectations is, I remember some poem back in the day was something, I've been wounded by expectations not met. Okay, unmet expectations. So I'll just talk about me. There are times that, I have some basic expectations. Okay. And I make assumptions that someone might be in a space or a place or a mindset. Let me just do that they would understand. And I mean, I'm gonna be straight up, adhere to my expectations. Like, could you just please come through? Okay. But that's based on how I would react and respond. Okay. Not necessarily from where they are. Okay. And oh my goodness, this crowd is like right on it. Ego. Okay. The ego gets in the way, having those expectations, having, what I call stuff in the shadow that you haven't dealt with. Like you just said, can't heal what you won't reveal. All right. Lisa said, yes. Insecurities.
Yes.
Hey, Lisa. Oh my God. Yes.
Yes. That's a big issue. That is a big issue, because I think that encompasses everything. Your insecurity in life, in dealing with people, in dealing with situations, even your life situations that have caused a trauma in your life. That causes some insecurity. It causes you to, some people have low self-esteem. They're shy, they're withdrawn, they speak very, very low. It's just so many things that insecurity encompasses, but it's a thing that affects your personality. It's a thing that affects your everyday being, and if you don't address that, and if you don't deal with it in the universe, it's really going to mess with you. It's just
Okay. And let me just tell you, our guests, our audiences, they write on it. Lack of trust. Oh my goodness. Lack of trust. And I have to say that goes two ways. Okay, that goes two ways. Wow, I had this experience, okay, recently. Lack of trust in me, okay, which totally threw me for a loop, okay, totally threw me for a loop. That my reputation and my lifestyle and my way of being wasn't enough. Okay, it wasn't enough, and which put me kind of in a place where I felt like I was unnecessarily defending, myself. And in looking at that, it's because I wanted to be in control of what the other person thought about me, when in fact, all I needed to know is that T, okay, is trustworthy. T is reliable. All right. T, is a person of her word. But I was so caught up in, what the other person was thinking. All right. Or what my experience of what the other person was thinking, that then I started feeling bad about myself.
Right.
Okay.
A lot of times that's what happens with insecurity and trust and trying to be a person that pleases everyone else but yourself.
Oh, girl, please.
And lack of trust, I can speak from an experience too. Lack of trust, but it came from a very critical, serious situation that happened to me. I had a lack of trust. I allowed something to trigger me from an experience that triggered me, and then I realized what had happened. That thing triggered me, and I had to get back to myself. And the thing is with the insecurities, it's not that I don't like you're not insecure. It's the situation makes you insecure. When you're in a situation with people, sometimes we don't realize that we feel insecure. We don't realize that we feel inadequate. Or we don't realize that there is a lack of trust. And sometimes you realize it and it's too late.
Right.
But the thing is that you have to identify, again, you can't heal from what you won't reveal. And then when you get triggered for something, then go back, do that shadow work and find out what's inside that you need to fix.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because what I really love to do is to make sure that we walk away with some real tools, all right, that we can use in order to be able to more effectively move forward. So when you peel it all back, what is at the core of that? Okay, and what can we do?
It's self-care. It all begins with self-care. And the self-care is not, we talk about this all the time. It's not the outward self-care, it's the inside. us getting back to center, us getting clarity, us finding our purpose, us doing what we need to do for us. Because if I'm not right, I am no good to you or no one else. I can act like I am. I can put that mask on, come outside like, yeah, girl, I'm this, I'm that. I can do all that. But when I come in this house, that's when the truth comes out. So we have to get back to making ourselves a priority and realizing that it's not selfish to do that. Take some time to meditate. Take some time to breathe. Take some time to just sit and reflect and regroup and reset, what we're doing, because things, people, life, our jobs can make us disconnect to the point that we're not functioning, that we're not being the person that we're supposed to be. So you have to be true to yourself. You have to, and you have to take that time, even if it's starting out with just 2 minutes a day, of taking some time for meditation, taking some time for breathing. And, and then when you do that, that's when you're going to find out about all of that stuff inside. All that stuff that you suppress, all of that stuff that you don't want anybody to know about, it's going to come up. And then once you let it come up and you fix it, you're good to go.
Let me just tell you something. The viewing audience is like on it. Thank you. So Halanaru says, if I'm not loyal and loving with me first, how can I be to my sisters?
That's right. That's right.
Because at the end of the day, I like to say this, and this has been my measure of success, has been that at the end of the day, I can look at myself in the mirror, okay, between me, okay, and my creator, and there's no hiding from that.
Yes.
Okay, there's no hiding from that. So all of those judgments, all of those mistakes, preconceived notions, anxieties, stresses, all of those things, that's between me and the universe, me and my maker, me and my God, for me.
Exactly right.
Okay. And in order to improve myself, okay, it's something that I need to work on. So let me I got to go back to some of the comments. Okay. Embrace the process. Okay. Embrace the process. We had talked about that earlier. We don't want to do that. We want to control it.
Right. And you can't.
Right.
You can't.
So what are some of the benefits of embracing the process?
Freedom.
Ooh, that's all you need.
Freedom. I mean, and there's no, there's no caption under that. There's no explanation under that. There's no definition to that. It's just freedom.
Period.
Freedom from freedom from worrying about what other people think. Freedom from, if I do this, what are they going to say? It's the freedom that allows me to, set my goal, forget about it, work on it, and figure out how I'm going to achieve the goal.
Listen, Linda, listen. Listen, Linda, listen. We're laughing because, on a daily basis, practically on a daily basis, we go through this. But Dr. Kenwana, you need to change your name on this thing, okay? Queen Dr. Kenwana Vanderbilt, okay? Says this is good stuff right here. I love it. Freedom is living.
Yes.
Freedom is living. Real growth and self-actualization.
Yes.
That's what it is. And when I hear that, what I'm hearing is the ability to become resilient. Okay. We've got to get to the core of it, clarity. Whew,
Clarity. We talked about clarity.
we talked about clarity. I got to give a shout out to to Precious Brown.
Yes. She is clarity driven.
Clarity driven. And
Yes.
it made a huge difference. Lisa, let me tell you something. You nailed it, because how many times have we been through different lessons and, how to manifest, what it is that we can be. But unless we're clear, right? Clear about what it is that, who we are, first of all, Lord have mercy.
What your life is about.
What your life is about. Somebody, I forget what someone said, being true to yourself is priceless. Okay. And we don't want to be something you're not. Okay. And that's so important.
It is important.
That imposter syndrome, saying that we're not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I went through that whole thing actually this week. I was working on a project. I'm usually in front of the camera, okay, and I'm real comfortable there. I don't know, in case you didn't notice. I'm real comfortable there, but I was in another position this week where I was like really doing some production, helping with some production I had never experienced before. It was exhausting and exhilarating at the same time. But because I was clear on what it is that I wanted to learn, then I was able to step in and accept the fact that I can do this too.
Oh, yeah.
I can do this too. Other great comments we have: when you rely on spirit and your ancestors, you realize they're ultimately in control and guiding you. You understand worrying is priceless. We got some smart remarks too. Really, Nirka? Thought you were camera shy. I am. I'd much rather be by myself, but I want to stay on purpose. All right. So we started talking about self-care. In your experience, because you're a practitioner, okay, of so many modalities. What can you share in terms of what you run into with the clients? Like, where's the disconnect with the clients when they come to see you?
The disconnect is with themselves. I talk to women who are, domestic abuse victims still with their abuser. I try and talk to them and, ask them, how can I help them? What can I do for you? Not like, girl, you got to get out. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's not, that's not how you address them. How can I help you? What can I do for you? And, people are just so busy running around doing this and doing that. They don't take the time for themselves, and every time they come, they're like, oh my God, if I could just do this every day, how often should I do this? Because it feels so good when I take some time for myself. And then they leave and they go right out back to hustle and bustle. I mean, we do that, and I tell you not to do that, and then I try and do 19 things in an hour, so that's stressing me out, and it's like, we got to focus on the process and not the goal, not the goal. What's the process to get to that goal? Walk that process out. And then if you get to the goal, you get to the goal. If you don't get to the goal, you don't get to the goal. And don't beat yourself up because you don't.
Right.
Because then it's focusing on the process, it's focusing on your freedom. And the more I talk about it, the more I even say the word freedom, it's the ability to release yourself from all insecurities, all things that affect you, issues, situations, all of those things. and just be able to be like, okay, this is what it is, you know, that we got to move forward. You don't want to move forward. Then you're stymieing yourself like, oh my God, what can I do? How can I make this right? No. Okay.
Pump the brakes.
You tried, it didn't work. All right, I got to have my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We got to let that go. We got to focus on the process. We got to walk in our purpose. We
Mm-hmm.
have to have clarity,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds so selfish that I'm always talking about we got to have, like you have to have, but there's nothing or no one more important than you.
Right.
If I'm not right with no one, so I'm not going to be good to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing you have to do is get right with yourself. And that's what I tell my clients. They have to get right with themselves.
Yes.
And coming, trying to, take that Band-Aid off or take that mask off for that 1 hour, you lift that up and you're like, oh, dag, it's still bleeding. You put that Band-Aid back on and you keep right on going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
it doesn't fix anything.
This is one of our viewers. And oftentimes you realize that the goal is something other than what you imagined when you release the control and flow with the process. I mean, we talked about flow and control earlier today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why is that release so hard for us?
Because it's control. It's
Oh.
you wanting control that you think that you have. And the universe is telling you that you don't have it. And the thing, like when I was listening to someone say that, and at the same time they said that, I said, to me, it's almost like a catch-22, because I want to believe that I have everything I need in
Mhm.
me. That I have risen, I'm rising up to be who I'm supposed to be. I have everything in me. So then I can, control everything. No, you can't, because you don't have control. You never had control and you never will have control.
Mhm. That's a difficult principle to accept because, we talk about how we are in control. And so maybe there's some varying degrees of control that we have. But at the end of the day, being able to kind of like, I'm going to have to revisit that concept.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess that's where the practice comes in. Being able to revisit that concept and think on a different level. You tell me about it all the time, about making that pivot.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes, we all have heard this 1,000 times. Some things are for a season,
Mm-hmm.
and friends are for a season. Some things in life are for a season, but they're all lessons that we had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I like to tell women as I try to empower them and inspire them is that what I've been through will help you get through.
Ooh.
So what I've been through, and I've been through a lot, so, my purpose after, asking God, how come, why am I doing this? How come this is happening to me? Poor little old me. It's nothing happening to anyone else, just poor little old me. But once I realized that all of that was for purpose, to the point that it has made me the woman that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for that journey, that 14-year journey taking care of my husband, the journey through domestic violence, the journey through losing my mother, right after my husband, taking care of my husband and then taking care of my mom, and then she's gone within 8 months. And like, well, why, God? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that right after my husband passed away? You got games, you got tricks, what?
Right.
But right now, I can stand here before you and say that all of that was for this time right here. I'm an
Mm.
entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, an educator, a woman of passion when it comes to health and wellness and domestic violence. All of those things were for a reason. You
Yeah.
know? And what I went through is to help you get through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. Because when we're in the midst of the struggle, okay, where we're in the midst of that and we can't see like what is
Mhm.
going on. Didn't I just go through this? Didn't I just tell somebody how to get through
Right, right.
it? And now it's me. What is it that I can do, to move away from this, to get out of this in order to move forward? So, we talked about self-care and some of the elements of that. And I always like to say, self-care isn't about a mani-pedi. Well, maybe it's a
Or a
mani-pedi
massage. Or a massage.
or a massage. Oh yeah, or a massage. Maybe it's a mani pedi and a massage of your soul. Okay.
Yes.
And your spirit,
Cleaning that out.
cleaning that out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, get that little bzzz
Mhm. Yes, yes.
here and erase that so that we can move forward. The other thing is, I'm just going to say this. We are we don't look like what we've been through.
I don't even have a comment, girl.
We don't look like what we've been through.
Mhm.
Okay. Truth be told, I mean, you look back at the story, okay? And of course you've written about your story in caring for your husband tirelessly and selflessly. And I'm gonna say vigorously. Where you left no stone unturned.
Mhm.
And the same thing with so many others, okay, that when you're told you can't do this, it's like, please watch me, along that journey.
That's
Like
a
it's not
challenge.
going to go down like that.
Mhm.
All of those things. We were on a domestic violence, information, a broadcast earlier, later last week. And some of the stories, you know, um, we don't want to believe, but it happens
Every day.
every day.
24/7.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day.
Mhm.
It happens. And it's more than a notion in order to move through. So here's some more comments. Okay, I love this one. Self-care is an internal love affair.
Yes. Ashe, Queen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yes, yes, yes. Amen. Like big ups, amen. To that internal love affair. I
Mhm.
like that. We have to coin
Mhm.
that one. All right.
Mhm.
Um,
Damn.
and Okay, that is rightfully termed self-pampering. Okay, so thank you, Doctor. Dr. Kenwana coming through. So the nails and the hair and all that kind of stuff is really termed as self-pampering,
Right. That's right.
as self-care digs to the soul. Mm,
Absolutely.
mm, 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 mm.
We know that.
Yes,
We see that all the time.
we see that all the time. And I'm going to tell you, I see it all the time because I look at myself in the mirror.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
And it's okay, right, to fall off and get back up, right?
You know what? I was on a tour for mental health called Crazy Like a Fox,
Mm-hmm.
and we toured a lot of different states, telling our stories to make women know that, first of all, mental health is not like the plague or anything like that, but it's to make you know that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. You know, we all told our stories, and the women in the audience were set free just from hearing us talk about our stories. You know, and that's the thing. People don't want to talk. They don't want to speak up. They don't want to, they want to remain mute on a conversation about themselves. You know, help themselves to speak up and, you know, allow that hurt or that pain to be released, to start working on that. And it's not an easy thing. And sometimes you don't even identify it because you do it so much.
Ooh.
You know, you wear that mask every day, every day. You know, you don't even realize that you get up and you put it on. It's almost like it's oblivious to you that you're even putting it on. You know, and you go outside and you go about your day with that mask on. And, you know, and you probably don't realize you have the mask on because you leave it on. Because that's how you function. You know, because you don't want to speak about, you don't want to remember, you don't want to fix. You can't heal from what you won't reveal.
Yes.
So you don't want to do it. So you keep that mask on. Because I did that for 4.5 years after my husband passed away. You know, people were like, oh my God, you're such a strong woman. You're such a this, you're such a that. No, I was such a hurt, broken woman. So I would wear my mask and I would come outside like, yeah, girl, this is good. This is good. I'm good. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know, and I'm talking to people, I'm helping people. And my mask is on. So you don't even realize, you're totally oblivious to the fact that you have the mask on because you wear it so much. You know, take that time and look in the mirror and talk to yourself and, you know, make affirmations over yourself every day.
And that's where the resiliency comes in. Giving yourself permission.
Yes.
You know, grace. Okay. Forgiving yourself. All right. And I'm going to tell you that there's some days I've got to go through that every day.
Yeah.
Multiple times a day.
Every day.
Okay. Multiple times a day. Sometimes I find myself, you know, like putting it on, putting the glasses on, now here's the mask. It's crazy.
Girl, look, every day. And, you know, it gets to the point that you start, you know, you get sick of your own self. You know, I'm like, how did I get in this situation? How am I allowing someone else to control or manipulate how I feel about myself? How I operate, you know, in my walk, in my purpose, you know, because of something you think is an inadequacy, but in reality, you have the inadequacy. You have the personality disorder.
Right.
You know? So you make it like it's us, and then we start to embrace that. Yeah, it's me. It is me. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that because it's me. No, it's not. You know, one of the things is about how did I clean this? You are an immature adult in an adult situation, and you don't know how to function in it because you're immature. You're an immature person in an adult situation. You're an adult, but you're immature. You know, if it's not this way, if you don't do this way, you're coming from a place of immaturity, but can't be an adult about it and see all of the other aspects
of it. Right.
And then
unless
you take it on.
Right. You own what's not yours. We immediately own what is not ours. Okay. So, in wrapping this up, we know that in order to get past those, thought patterns and behaviors and that junk, that ish, okay, what is it that we need to do in order to move past that? What button do we push?
I mean, I can't say that it's just the self-care. And when you realize who you are
Mm-hmm.
and what you are about, and, when I'm going to just tell you from personal experience. When I finished my training in etheric touch, that allowed me to find my voice, to embrace the gift that I had. I used to always think that, well, I can hear things and I can see things, but I can't tell people that. And I think once we realize who we are and the power that is within us, and we rise up into that power, into our higher self, that higher vibration, that higher frequency, then we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we forget who we are, and we kind of like, downplay ourselves, I guess,
Yes.
of saying it, because of the things that people are saying, the information that's being input into our spirit, and we start to like own it. And then we have to remember, oh, no. I'm a queen.
Yes.
I'm a goddess. Okay, no. No. That's not who I am. That's not who I'm going to be. Sometimes it takes a little minute. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It takes a little minute. But then you're like, no.
Yes.
No. You don't think that this is who I am?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You have to know who you are.
You have to do that.
You
Yes.
rise up to that.
And that's where that reset comes in. I'm a huge proponent of reset. Okay. And maybe it's the ultimate personal grace, for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's renew, that little sign back there that I make sure I look at every day.
Yes.
Hitting that reset button is another opportunity for us to shift our thinking and shift our behavior, okay, and shift the direction that that we go in. It's not easy, but it is so very possible. And it's that the challenges, and I talked about being impacted by regrets. And, I often hear people talk about, oh, well, I don't have any regrets.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say that, but I do.
Yeah.
Not many.
But
Okay.
we all have some.
But I have to say, I used to say, oh, no, I ain't got no regrets, girl, because I'm resilient and I can get up and go ahead. What? I mean, sometimes I just look at myself and say, you big dummy, not for long.
Because you know who you are.
Because I know who I am and whose I am.
Right.
And that is our ability to, get through the meantime, okay, with the resiliency that we need and hit that reset button,
Calling them ancestors, they come every time.
Every time. And call on the power, okay, that you have been given. Operate in the promises, that you have been given, the belief system that is going to move you forward, and not keep you stuck.
Right.
Because you have to, first of all, know and understand yourself, okay, as you go.
Mm-hmm.
And then know and understand your own belief system. You can't rely on somebody else.
Nope.
Okay. You can't rely on somebody else. And we have such a habit of doing that because so and so said so. Okay. And it plays out in all of the, in all of the arenas, in our lives. We see it happening now. I mean, like, I was going to try and make this a week without talking about politics, but but it's just people's mindset and their inability to think for themselves.
Right.
That crowd mentality that really impacts their ability to operate from their own thoughts, their own power, and to be able to do critical thinking.
Because they don't know who they are.
Clarity. Clarity. There's so many, the things that we're talking about are not buzzwords, okay? They're not buzzwords for us because of our own personal experiences and our ability to be where we are today and have this kind of conversation and be able to share that with you. So I'm happy to say that Val and I are in the laboratory. And we're developing a couple of series. One that is going to be launching in the Enchanted Life group. And why don't you just share a little bit about what it is that we're cooking up, girl?
Well, we are going to have a Queendom series, and we are looking for you to tell us some of the things that you want to talk about. But we want to talk to you about what it is to be a queen, and what do you think it is being a queen? What jewels do you have in your crown? How do you operate in your everyday life? How do you operate in the bedroom? How do you operate in the kitchen? How do you operate in this room? Each thing is something different. You're a different person in these different areas, these different scenarios. How do you rise up into your higher self, your higher frequency? How do you do self-care and do the shadow work that you need to do to rise up? Everything is rising up into being the queen that you were called to be. We're all queens, but you have to step into that role, and you have to take that role and live it and be it.
And do the work. So we're real excited about that. That is going to be launching in the Enchanted Life group. Okay. We're doing a pilot, and actually is going to be multiple series. This has been so good.
Yeah.
So we're going to be launching that on Wednesday in the Enchanted Life group. Our collaborative and our little think tank, where we're really able to reach out to those who are open, okay, to operating in a different at a different level and doing the work, okay. In the meantime, understand, I love what you said, that we need to be able to operate in all areas, being our best in the kitchen, being our best in the bedroom, being the best, with our children, being the best in our business.
And being the best with other women and not being in competition.
Yes.
How we don't connect with other women. Talking about some things in the Moon Lodge.
Yes. Understanding, where we came from.
Yes.
All right. And what the promises, are. We forget about that. We just kind of throw it around on Sunday morning, or, whenever it is that we take that time to connect. We just throw those terms around, but it's something else to walk and operate in the essence of queendom. So we're real excited. I know I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
That. It's been a lot of work, but it's a labor of love for us to be able to work on that and bring it to you and understand what Val was talking about earlier about, God, why did I have this experience?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was really for such a time, for such a time as this. Yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
Val, I want you to share with the audience how we get a hold of you.
You can contact me at Valerie at purposedforwellness.com. You can call me at 856-425-0167. You can direct message me. I always like to say you can use courier pigeon. You can use whatever method of communication that you like. I will always be available. That's my thing. I have to learn how to say no because I want to save the world.
Mm.
And I'm out all the time, and people just tell me no, like I'm just like, yes.
Like you need to make that trip to Wawa without having to pull out your shingle.
Jesus. But it's all about just doing what we're supposed to be doing.
That's it. Being on purpose.
Yes, living on purpose. My purpose is your wellness.
I love it. I love it. Val, thank you. I love this. I'm so glad that we were able to do this. To our audience, I want you to stay tuned. And we're going to, in the next week or so, we're going to put out, a poll about what it is that you want to talk about. On Tanya Inspires, I am just real excited about 2021 and the new direction that we're going to be going in. I'm still going to be doing my interviews. There's still going to be, me giving my perspective. I just love the conversations, with my audience. There was this, I can't keep it to myself. I just cannot keep it to myself. These are times when we have to have the necessary but uncomfortable conversations so that we can really move into operating in what I like to call our next and best.
Yes.
So Valerie, Queen Mandisa Karasi, thank you so very much for being on with me. I want you guys to look forward to a little bit more of Karasi Tee. We got some plans for 2021. Where we'll be having, some more excellent conversations to really share where we are and move you ahead so that you can, like I said, move into your next and best. All right. I will be back right here again next week. You're going to find me here. You make sure you stay connected with Talks with Tanya on Facebook and Instagram under Tanya Inspires. Make sure you take a moment to go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel, Tanya Inspires. And remember to hit the bell so that you can get a reminder about when it is that I am coming on. Thank you so very much to my awesome audience. I appreciate your support. We will see you next week. And I want you to make sure that you stay inspired. Love y'all. Be blessed. Bye.